used to Japanese fishermen used to use glass balls to float their nets. They stopped making these in the 60s. So this thing has been floating in the ocean for at least 60 years until it washed up on this beach. The blue ones are a little bit more rare. Look at this. See, there's the fresh grizzly bear tracks, and you can tell that there's layers of old prints underneath that. Grizzly bears like to walk up and down the same trails over and over again. This bear's been using this trail for a while. I definitely don't want to leave my gear on this trail or I'm gonna have bear problems. I got off the grizzly bear trail and I can see another trail going right through here. You can see here the hoof prints. These are all caribou tracks. I've got about 3.5 miles to go down that beach to get to the walrus carcass. So I'm gonna leave most of my gear right here and hope the bears don't find it before I get back. My guess is that as long as I'm back here before nightfall, I should be okay. You know, people tell you all the time, don't leave food in your pack because the bears will get into it. Bears will get into your pack just because it's a funny color or an unusual material. They're like a toddler. They don't need an excuse to destroy something. They'll do it just because they're bored or curious. Oh man, look at these wolf prints. Look at the size of that. That is a big wolf print. I'm keeping my eyes peeled as I'm walking down this beach. I could find all sorts of cool stuff. It's not uncommon to find fossilized woolly mammoth ivory sticking out of the cliffs. More bear tracks. I gotta make sure to look behind me. damn it. Getting that head off that body is going to be a long and disgusting process. So I think I'm going to have myself some lunch before I get started. Always wash your hands after touching a dead walrus. Now I know a lot of you probably don't want to watch me cutting the head off this walrus. It's going to be a little bit icky. So I'm going to try to be tasteful in my editing. Got some dried golden figs. Love these things. Well, enough for crap.
The Norvensk region has forever changed the moment it was turned into an open economic zone. Both Norvensk and Tarkov became centers of international partnership. One of the most influential corporations on the global stage, Terra Group, has established its regional headquarters in Tarkov. Terra Group scientists promised to bring our world towards the future. Even back then, it was obvious the old world was on its way out. In Tarkov, the corporation was actively acquiring land and absorbed local businesses for the sake of its revolutionary projects. Virtus in scientia. That's what they used to say. Terra Group's influence in the city grew rapidly. It wasn't long before they started showing interest in restricted government facilities, a move that couldn't go unnoticed by domestic security agencies. In order to protect their enterprises, Terra Group hired a foreign PMC, United Security. USEC personnel began blocking access to Terra Group's facilities, and even the government authorities no longer had a full picture of what the corporation was doing within Tarkov's borders. Eventually, a team of investigators was sent to the local headquarters to search the building and compile a report. But the USEC operatives refused to let the law officials through and opened fire. After that incident, a new force appeared in the Norvensk region, PMC Bear. Their main mission was to expose and gather evidence of Terra Group's illegal activities around the world. At first, Bear's operations and their clashes with USEC forces were limited and isolated, but the tension escalated quickly. It was too risky to fully involve military forces to maintain order due to the region's special status. The UN forces and Russian military blocked all routes in and out of the city, and the UNTAR mission began evacuating civilians. But despite the authorities' statements, the situation in Tarkov was no longer under anyone's control. The conflict between Bear and USEC evolved into an all-out armed conflict. Marauders and bandits, soon nicknamed scabs, only made things worse. For several years, both PMCs fought each other, each carrying out orders from their respective command. Before all this, Tarkov was featured in the world's top financial news. And now it shows up in the combat logs of the contract wars. But it didn't end there. Terra Group's local headquarters became Bear's primary objective, withstanding multiple assault attempts. During one of those raids, something happened. An event that split Tarkov's history into the before and after.
Tutorial, huh? Actual Kimlov. Do we get to keep this stuff? There we go. Okay, where are we going? Kimlov? Order. Okay, the graphics are not correct. I have a feeling I'm not going to be able to even get anything. Okay. Async. It's a new rig.
fascinating. Think it's time to suit up and do the dirty job. I'll be honest, it doesn't smell very good where I'm sitting, and once I cut into that carcass, it's gonna get much, much worse. So I brought along some earplugs. May look ridiculous, but it's worth it. Feeling cute, might go cut up a walrus, I don't know. This may seem like overkill, but anything that gets rotten walrus on it will not be allowed back into my house. All right, I have never dissected a walrus before. You gotta find the joints. If you try to just smash through these bones, it'll just destroy your axe. There's a bony bit right here. Oh, the jaw goes all the way. Oh, I need to adjust my nose plugs. Oh, get them deeper. Oh, that was bad. That was the worst smell I've ever smelled in my life. Oh.
Do I talk with them? What? What's my hideout look like? Oh.
Здравствуйте. Что-то срочное? Вы правильно сделали, что обратились ко мне. Но я не смогу провести вас через весь город. В Таркове ни у кого нет полного контроля над территорией. Я знаю людей, которые могли бы показать вам безопасные маршруты в городских кварталах. Но вы должны понимать, что на удержание этих проходов уходит немало ресурсов. Мы пользуемся этими маршрутами для вывода гражданских, поэтому не экономим на безопасности. Я рада, что вам оказалась небезразлична судьба мирных жителей, с трудом выживающих в городских кварталах. Вы сделали правильный выбор. К сожалению, пока ничего нет. Зайдите позже. Работа врачом всегда подразумевает много контактов с разными людьми. Это, во-первых. Во-вторых, то, что было до изменений в Таркове, сейчас не имеет значения. Думаю, вы точно понимаете, о чем я. Того терапевта уже не существует. Не стоит спрашивать меня о ней. Кое-что найдется для вас. Буду рада увидеть вас в следующий раз.
Заходи, заходи. Обижаешь, Ахпер. У барахольщика ты все найдешь, что нужно. Хочешь броники, хочешь реально модный шмот, тебе подберем. Но ты же не просто так зашел, а? Эвакуироваться собрался, да? Много кто там выйти пытался. Но зашел ты правильно. Я тебя и с нужными людьми сведу, и дорогу покажу. Сделай только кое-что для меня сначала. В лесочке рядом с Ультрой какой-то кипиш начался. Вроде даже техника была. Короче, надо проверить эти места. Свои все у меня уже заняты работой. Так что ты вовремя объявился. Ага, осмотри все вокруг Ультры на развязке. Особенно если технику услышишь или найдешь. Потом мне все расскажешь. Заскакивай еще как-нибудь.
Survive and extract from.
Заходи, заходи. Ты знал, что у нас в Таркове осталось полно коллекционеров? Иногда мне заказывают фигурки с анимешными девочками в трусах. И нет, я не скажу кто. Даже не проси. А я все ждал, когда ты это спросишь. Прости, брат, сейчас ничего нет. Заходи еще.
So what? I need survive and extract from interchange.
So I can see the joints and know where to cut from there. It took me 15 swings of the axe just to pierce the hide a little bit. And I've got to do it all the way around. Whew. Well, I got through the skin, and now I'm just trying to figure out where the walrus's neck is. They're just kind of a giant fat tube, and where the head ends and the body begins is not exactly obvious. So I'm having to cut away pieces and kind of search around, and it's a lot of work. I nicked my glove. Gotta make sure my finger's okay. A little tiny cut, but I'm not sure if it even went all the way through the skin. But I'm gonna go put a Band-Aid on that real quick and wash it off. It's really common for walruses to have trichinosis, and I don't want to catch any weird diseases. Well, I spent about an hour cutting, hacking, and sawing, and I got the head off. I need to sit down with the knife and cut off as many bits of flesh as I can to lighten the load, because I gotta carry that thing 4 miles. And I don't care how ridiculous these nose plugs look, they're an absolute lifesaver. Oh, my GoPro is never gonna smell the same again. Well, there we go. That only took 4 hours. Whew. I absolutely destroyed my fillet knife. And this shirt. These pants might need to burn as well. Really glad I got that Tyvek suit. I just should have gotten 2 of them. Oh, the head weighed about 90 pounds with the skin on. I removed about 40 pounds of meat and skin. Still pretty heavy, but it's gonna be a lot more reasonable. This whole time I keep looking over my shoulder waiting for a bear to come walking down this beach. I'm just gonna be so glad when I'm heading back to camp. Oh, that is noticeably heavier. But now that I've got my walrus head, I've got to hold on to it. You know, I'm dragging 50 pounds of bear bait behind me. I guess I'm technically trolling for bears at this point. A little break, a little drink, a little snack. Let's do another quarter mile or two. Oh, my back. Oh, if I keep taking breaks, I think I can save my back. Tell you, this is exhausting, but what a beautiful day to be exhausted. And not being mauled by a bear is just a real cherry on top. Oh. I'm really anxious to see if any animals mess with my stuff. Probably gonna be okay. Looks like my gear's all here. Yay, I am tired. Oh, there's a hole in the bag and the walrus head just leaked goo all over the sled. I got maybe an hour before it gets really dark, so I'm gonna try to gather firewood. Tell you what, firewood's a lot lighter than walrus heads. The fire doesn't need to be big and scary. It doesn't need to last all night. It just needs to be sending smoke downwind the same direction as that walrus smell. So any bear that picks up the smell of the walrus will also know there's a human here. For most animals around this part, that's all they need to know to stay away. But don't let my confidence fool you. Fire or no fire, there's still a really good chance that we'll get visited in the middle of the night. Most of the time, won't be a problem, but something we gotta be ready for.
Alrighty. Hammercom. Oh, okay. Open this up. Nice. Got some rocks over there. Cool. Cool. No loot, no loot. Okay, that's my voice. A lot more foliage. A lot more foliage. War mage, disgusting. Wonder if everyone else is scared.
What's up over there? Oh, never mind.
I'm very, very scared. Should probably eat something. Huh. Well, this looks a lot different too. Somebody's been here. Might need to turn the resolution down, mess with some settings. Some stuff doesn't look totally great. A lot of new stuff. A lot of new places for people to hide. 5 minutes. Explore for another 2, I guess. I need to. Okay, they were kind of geared.
Well,
Nice.
got my camp all set up, and it's about 4 minutes to midnight. I'm seeing the last little bit of the sun disappear over the horizon.
Of course, there was multiple of them.
All right, guys, I'm going to sleep. I'll see you in the morning. I'm going to bed. Well, I think I earned myself a very lazy morning, but it's time to get up. Oh, the mosquitoes are fat and juicy this morning. Oh, they had fun with me last night. First thing I want to do is get up on one of these little hills over here and get a little bit of a vantage point. Oh, look at this. I think that's a tern egg, an Arctic tern. See this landscape out here? This is tundra. Most of Alaska.
Is terminal not available? Scav on the ground 0 now. Ugh. Okay, let's bring another 1, 2. Let's get some meds. 1 bandage, splint, boom, painkillers. Perfect. PMC onto interchange.
Alaska's interior looks like this. It's just this soft moss covering everything. The crazy thing is that almost all the plants you're looking at are berry bushes. And in the fall, there'll be crowberries as far as the eye can see. You'll just be walking on them. Oh, look at that. That's a ptarmigan feather if I've ever seen one. I was listening to a whole bunch of ptarmigan call to each other right here last night. I think I want to go hunt that for Japanese glass floats. I'd really like to find some of the more unusual ones, like the really big ones. Look at this one. Oh, this one is broken, but it still has its net. They'd weave the net around it, and that's how they would attach it. Yeah. Oh, it might just be me, but it looks like there's a lot more bear tracks on this beach than there were yesterday. Some places they make swings out of tires. Here in Alaska, you make rope swings out of buoys. This would be a great one for that. Way too late in the season to be viable. It's just probably a rotten, forgotten one. But collecting gull eggs is a big tradition with the native people here in Alaska. Early spring, you can come out into these dunes where they nest and just pick up baskets of eggs. It's a wonderful treat at the end of a long winter. Oh, look at this. Oh, that's a really nice whale vertebrae. It's nice and bleached. Yeah, that's a nice one. I really got to learn my whale identification one of these days. Oh, that's a Yakult bottle. It's a Japanese yogurt drink. Came all the way from Asia. Oh, look at that. Where's your mommy? Well, yesterday worked out pretty well, but I need to boil that walrus head. But I'm gonna need something to boil it in. So Gabe's gonna bring me a drum. And I also forgot my cooking pot, so hopefully Gabe can bring me one when he drops off the drum. Well, I really wanna boil that walrus head, and it's gonna take a lot of firewood to do it, so I better get started. First, I'm gonna need some rocks. All right, that's looking pretty good. I may be biased, but I think float planes are so cool.
I saw.
It wasn't horrible, but oh, thank you. Awesome.
Yeah.
That is perfect.
To run over there and take a look.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. I should have put on my rubber boot. This is
Get on.
yippee!
All right.
Gabe thinks he saw another dead walrus over here by the shore, so we're gonna go investigate real quick. This is what, walrus number 4 in a week?
I believe so. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I should have looked at my settings.